When we left off, Professor Peter Kreeft was telling us how unjust the natural world was.
There's nothing just about nature. Nature is only about survival.
Right? There is nothing just about nature. The nature Peter Kreeft's all-loving, all-knowing, all-powerful God created. It really is only about survival. If you really think about that, you might think that there's no all-loving, all-knowing, all-powerful being behind that. It's just as if no one gave a flying French fry about the suffering of sentient creatures here on planet Earth. It's like our universe is just some cold, heartless, uncaring place with no rhyme or reason. For those of us who have embraced reality, this is the evidence that we refuse to ignore in an attempt to make ourselves feel better about the reality in which we find ourselves. How the Fogelberg does Kreeft look at a world filled with... Dennis, what is it?
This life is filled with an immeasurable amount of injustice and suffering.
Thank you. How does Pete look at that and say, well, obviously the horror, injustice, and suffering of our natural world point to an all-loving, all-good creator? When we get to the point where we can create our own simulations in a computer complete with sentient beings, is there any doubt that someone creating a place such as this will be locked away forever, charged and found guilty with crimes against a simulated humanity? Pete continues,
we can talk meaningfully about suffering being unnecessary or wrong only if we have an underlying belief that a standard of right and wrong objectively exists. And if that standard really exists, that means there is a God.
There is literally nothing of value or meaning in those two sentences. They are mere assertions strung together without anything behind them. I can do the same. We can talk meaningfully about suffering being unnecessary or wrong only if we have an underlying belief that a standard of right or wrong objectively exists. And if that standard really exists, it means nothing in relation to the existence of a God or gods. You see, when your worldview is not based on actual evidence, when evidence is not something of primary value, you can just say anything you want, asserting without evidence whatever makes you feel good. Because that's really what such a worldview is all about. Reality sucks. It does. It just really, really sucks. And reality-based thinking will only confirm that fact. So this kind of thinking is a great way to anesthetize yourself from the evidence of reality's ginormous and unforgiving flaws. Reality demonstrates that no standard of right or wrong objectively exists. We are all figuring things out as we go. That includes the tribal war god of Abraham, who used to think that killing non-virgin girls was a good thing. But if there is anything close to an objective standard, it is suffering. With the exception of masochists, no one on the planet, no species likes to suffer. And as far as we know, we are the only beings in the universe who has attempted to do anything about it. If there is a God who is looking down and watching this mess, sitting on his hands doing nothing about it when none of it had to exist in the first place, why would you care when he clearly doesn't give a shiitake mushroom about you? This cruel, unjust nature God created for us never had to happen. Indeed, we can all imagine a dozen other natures and realities which don't result in a world or lives filled with... crap. Dennis, what is it again?
An immeasurable amount of injustice and suffering.
Somehow, Professor Kreeft thinks this injustice and suffering is a feature rather than a bug, making evident God and his goodness? I think he's out of his flaming mind, but I'll let you be the judge. Join me for the next installment of this infinite series of videos when we take a look at the psychological effect of believing or not. Until then, I'll be right over there. With Wix, you can make a professional website that looks stunning. Just go to wix.com and... Okay, I can't lie to you. I have never made anything with Wix, but the important thing here is to go to my Patreon page. So many of you have written to me, sometimes with tears in your eyes, because you can't figure out how to help me keep these shows going, and you're afraid this enlightening, humorous content will disappear. Of course, I always include the links in the description below the videos on YouTube, right here. That's the best way to help. Just go to Patreon and set up your support. It's so easy, and once you set it up, you never have to think about it again, or think about it again. What could be better? You can rest assured that your contribution is going towards ridding the world of religious bigotry, intolerance, ignorance, and bad hair. Though I may not be able to do anything about the hats. You can choose how many videos per month you want to support and at what amount. The first 3 videos are always religion-oriented, so if you don't like my views on other subjects such as politics, just limit your support to the first 3. Even $1 per video helps. Think about it. For the cost of just 1 cup of coffee each month, you can help me change hearts and minds, and hopefully with your donations, underwear. Can you think of anything more simultaneously meaningful and disconcerting? You know, the good book says, many are called, but few are chosen. Well, I say, to hell with that. You're all chosen. To help me, help you, help me. I can't think of anything more mutually beneficial for me, and I don't think you can either. So that settles it. Your decision is made. You click away, and I'll be here inciting my ass off. And the next time one of these videos goes up, you'll feel all warm inside knowing that it's up because of you. And to everyone who's already supporting these shows, you know what I'm gonna say. Thank you, 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 and I'll see you real soon. Although I guess that's up to you, isn't it?